An otter is like a young, slimmer version of a bear who like really is a, you know.
Y'all have like lots of good labels. So when it comes to gay sex, there's lots of stereotypes. Let's name a few. So lesbian bed death, that every top needs a bottom, right? So what are some surprises about gay and lesbian sexual relationships that people don't often talk about?
I think one of the biggest things that people don't talk about is that they think all gay men love to have anal sex, and that's not true. In fact, there's a lot of guys that get together that one isn't a top and the other isn't a bottom. There's like this interesting two bottoms together, two tops together, and it really doesn't get talked about. And there's such a diverse spectrum of sexuality within homosexuality and transgender and bisexual that nobody's talking about because we don't talk about sex. And it's kind of interesting.
Why don't we talk about sex?
Because that's why we were socialized. I mean, did you sit at your table with your mom and daddy talking about sex? I don't think so, girlfriend. I mean, but it is that interesting stuff.
Well, I think one of the, brings to mind for me, the idea of, everybody thinks lesbians want to strap on. And there's so many women who don't put anything up there, don't touch me in there, no penetration of any kind. And so, I mean, it's that same thing, that sort of, I like to think of it, it's the straight guy fantasy of watching the two lesbians get it on, or they're doing this, and it's like, no, we're really not interested in the straight guy fantasies at all.
I mean, there's definitely a stereotype. I remember when I came out to my father, and he says to me, okay, Frankie, so at night you dress up in leather and whips and chains? Me? Yes, Dad, that's what I do. But yeah, I mean, he went right there. And I just think there's this idea that, we like to whip and we like leather. And I do want to bring up the point of, I see a lot of, as a matchmaker and a coach, I see a lot of people coming to me that says, look, I'm butch and I'm attracted to butch women. I have a really hard time finding butch women that are, but they do, just like you said. Two tops together, two bottoms together. So it's like they're all different combinations, all different types that are attracted to each other. We just want to fit them in a nice box, and we don't fit just so.
No, we certainly don't.
Right. And even the idea of lesbian bed death. Is it a real thing? Are there lesbian couples who just stop having sex, or really? Sure, but there's also straight couples who have the same thing going on.
I betcha.
It just sounds sexier, more tittillating to talk about lesbian bed death.
Yeah.
I do think that testosterone helps a little here.
Yeah.
I think that, I think that
chemically.
men sort of, chemically, they just have this drive. They need to, make it happen.
Right.
And I think amongst lesbians, sometimes you get sort of complacent, comfortable, you're tired, just want to go to sleep, and you're not doing enough to maintain the relationship. Yeah. And, if we could just have a little more testosterone, I think we could keep it going a little, but I think that's part of it.
But that's where there's a stereotype too, that all gay men are just like ready to go all the time.
Seriously.
Okay, so yes, I'm staying in Chelsea right now. Yeah, I've been ready to go for 4 days now. There's just so much hot meat out there, but it's only because it's so stimulating, I'm being the most friendly to my partner since I've probably been in 3 months. It's like, hi honey, I can't wait to get home. But, there is this misconception that all gay men walk around with a heart on. Please, give me a freaking break. It's not necessarily true. I don't know, what do you think, Cameron?
I'd have to agree, and then there's also this stereotype that just because a guy enjoys anal sex, that somehow he's the female in the relationship. I think that's a big one that people don't seem to understand, that just because you enjoy that particular sexual practice, it doesn't emasculate you or any type of way. There's all different types of different kinds of sex out there, and that doesn't define who you are as a person.
I'm kind of laughing in my head right now going, the thing is the LGBT community, we've got the market on this because we put lovely little labels on everything. And you heterosexuals, you're like, why didn't we think of that? Why didn't we come up with femme and butch and bear and otter and all these things? It would be so much exciting.
What's an otter?
An otter?
Yeah.
It's like a young, slimmer version of a bear who really is a,
Y'all have lots of good labels.
Yeah, I'll give you the dictionary.
Okay, thank you.
I'm learning so much today.
I know. Even we're learning, yes.
What can we learn from all these stereotypes? Let's go around the horn and maybe one lesson about stereotypes.
Old but true, you can't judge a book by its cover.
Very nice.
Plain and simple.
I mean, you can't put us in a pigeonhole. Like, you can't just assume that we're gonna like one type of person. We may like a butch one year, and the next year we may like a high femme. I think it's fluid, you know, so stay open, you know, and not just assume.
Yeah, it's a range. And define yourself. Break out of the stereotype and define yourself.
I see it as Crayola got very famous for all the colors of the crayons.
So it sounds like when it comes to gay relationships in the sex department, there's lots and lots of stereotypes. And the bottom line is ask. The book is not always to be judged by its cover.